Hello, family and friends. I want to welcome you to another episode of the Reimagine You Lab podcast. And of course, it is me, MG. And you know that I love to bring in good company to come in and have a conversation in the lab because we always talking about change and how that happens. And my guest, Maureen Gicharu, let me tell you, this girl has made some change. Hello, Maureen. How are you?
I am doing well, and thank you for having me. I'm really grateful to be here, and I'm excited for this conversation today.
Yeah, me too. I want to let people know that you are a woman who leads with clarity, compassion, quiet strength, and like the work in your words. We were, just before we came on, we was talking about your book, and I want to make sure that we get into it so people know. But you remind us that becoming your best self isn't about pressure, right? But it's about your presence and how you do that and coming forward and being able to do things that you may not have thought that you could do. So, you guys, audience, I'm telling you now, you're in for a treat today. So, Maureen, I told you that the way that I kick these shows off is we're gonna go beyond the bio, and beyond the bio is you tell them uh, who you are, what you do, how you do it. All right, I'm gonna give the ball to you.
Okay, thank you for having me again. At my core, I am a daughter, a sister, a friend, someone who really values faith, service, and mostly advocating people. Currently serving in the military, also entrepreneur, mostly in healthcare. And I'm really passionate in really helping people, especially when it comes to transformation. Especially when there's a lot of uncertainty when they don't know how to navigate. I'm really passionate about that.
Mhm.
My original story, born in Nairobi, Kenya, relocated in the US. I call Kansas City home, but a few years I did locate to Atlanta, Georgia. So this is home for me.
Yay. Hey, well, I am so glad that you are here. So, and Maureen, kind of as we get in, before we jump into the show and stuff, tell me a little bit about what's bringing you joy or grounding in this current season of your life. What's bringing joy to you?
I'll say for 2026 is just having that alignment. Like that's what's bringing me joy.
Yeah, alignment. All right, alignment. That's a good word. Like we want to be in alignment in 2026. You know what? What would you say is something about you that kind of feels essential when I think about alignment, like there's some things that go along with that. Like when you're out of alignment, right? So what would you say is something that you kind of feels essential but doesn't often make it into the professional story of Maureen?
I think mindset is really really powerful because and
Mhm.
really guarding your heart because everything pours in your heart and
Yeah.
really mindset. So really doing things to help guide mindset, like like I'm a faith based person, so just if
Mm.
it's spiritual, like reading
Mhm.
books to help me elevate that, uh, going my exercise even when I don't want to, being in podcasts like this, elevating people, like that's what kind helps me get aligned.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that about you. I love that even in reading your story and some of the things that you share. I was thinking about what would you say before you even started writing about becoming your best self? Because sometimes it's like it's already in you, like it, you kind of feel it. Who were you becoming in real time?
I would say I'm becoming the best version of myself.
Hmm.
When I mean that, it doesn't mean perfection. It means
Hmm.
like you're still realigning. Like the Maureen you knew 10 years is gonna be an evolved Maureen.
Yeah.
So it's like doing changes, and that whenever it comes to change, it gets you out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
So being out of your comfortable, it makes you grow, and that's part of alignment.
Yeah. No, I love that. You know, were there any, was there a time or a season maybe for you that kind of shaped how you understand growth and elevation? Because I think, you know, not everybody gets there, or not that they don't get there. It's sometimes they may recognize it in a moment. There's a time, there was something where it was like a clear sounding bell that you knew it was time for you to do something different, to push forward in a different way. Did you have a moment that you could share?
I have different moments. I think the biggest is relocating
Mhm.
from Nairobi, Kenya to the US. It's like I'm used to knowing my familiar, I'm going to unfamiliar.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do I navigate that? How do I carry through that? Thank you. Thanks to my parents who really instilled faith earlier on and the belief of God. So that kind of helped me really get me out of there, knowing that, hey, your mom and dad, they're not gonna be always be here. So you gotta get get out and and really start growing quick and learning how to navigate and just having people align with you, mentors, friends who really elevate you, really helps you keep you grounded.
Yeah. Maureen, how now remind me how old you were when you came to the US.
I was a teenager.
Teenager, yeah. That's a tough time too, right? Like it's hard. You're going through things. Um, I have talked to people and that have made a jump and moved from different places into the U.S. and it was different. Was it like a culture shock, or how long did it take you to get used to the U.S. from Nairobi?
it was uh, it was a culture shock because it's like at that age, a teenager, you really don't know who you are, so you're really trying to find out like who I am. And then
Hmm.
here you are being taken to another country, so it's like trying to navigate those two. I was, I mean, it wasn't easy,
Hmm. Hmm.
but I mean, with God, I mean, everything is possible.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. You know what I always think about when we're, moving and making change. What would you say was the greatest change that you ever had to make? Other moving from Nairobi to the US. After that, you're here for a while. There was still some changes and some things that you've had to do and grow into. What would you say after you've been in the US? What was the biggest change that you feel like you had to make first? What was the first big change after you got here?
Hmm. I would say learning to, because when you're used to familiar things and now you're somewhere you don't know. So for me, it was really learning to like use my voice.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. Hmm.
really use my voice. I'm an introvert, so really getting out of my shelf, and more than ever, it's like, hey, I'm gonna believe myself. If I don't, who else is gonna believe
With
me?
yeah.
So really, I would say the two thing is really the power in my voice, and really like you gotta bet on yourself.
Yeah. No, those are two keys. Those are two keys. When we talk about emerging, what do and I want to talk about your book a little bit, emerging in your as your best self. When you talk about emerging, what do you believe most people misunderstand about personal growth?
I think there's a different arena depending on where you are in life.
Hmm.
So the first thing when they think of imagine, they think of, oh, okay, you're going to perfection. It's really not that. It's
Hmm.
really like, how do I evolve to be the best person I can be? And just to make it practical, let's say you used to be the person like you didn't value like exercising, you didn't value how you feel like internally,
Yeah.
and now it's like, okay, now we gotta work on those things. How do we get from where I am to where I say it. So how do I get that? I really believe mindset. Mindset is like, how do I shift feeling that to move into to that area? So I would say really grounding yourself, having because I believe, like, it's a journey.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody
Mm-hmm.
gets there by themselves.
Right.
Or learning to, like, hey, these friends, they're gonna get me at this season, and then as you evolve, those friends might not be the friends you evolve with, because you
Mhm.
making changes. The
Mhm.
way you thought or you thinking, your thinking has changed too, so you're elevating yourself. So also
Mhm.
friends change, season change, and then it just starts by just acknowledging, hey, I want better. Hey, this is, I have potential. And that's what I really talk about my book, is really tapping in those potential that you don't even know or aware you have in you.
Yeah. No, that's so good. That's so good, Maureen. Let's keep talking about the book, because there were so many amazing stories that you share in the book. You were very open and authentic about your life and your experiences, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the awesome, right? Like it's a mix. And what principle would you say, as you're thinking about it? And there were so many good points inside of the book. As a matter of fact, we want you to get copies of your book. You can go to emergingasyourbestself.com. It's available. You can get copies. But Maureen, tell us about like some of the principles that kind of anchors the way that you even got other people through change, especially when the process might feel slow or even unseen. Because sometimes it's like, I don't know if anything is happening. I've been trying and it's not working. What would you say are some of the principles that kind of anchors you to keep going? And
I would say the first principle, you gotta be authentic, and I think that's one of my superpower. Like,
Mhm,
you gotta be authentic. Like, you gotta let people see you, because on the outside you can look like all put together, but the
mhm,
inside, like sharing your story, like, hey, this is where I was, this is where I am, this is where I'm heading to. So just having that principle of, like, hey, I'm gonna be authentic in everything I do. I'm
mhm,
gonna hold myself accountable. I'm going to lead with integrity. I'm going
mhm,
to lead with service.
mhm,
And so those are a few things that really have really stood out with when it comes to my principles. And
mhm,
also, like, I am not going to be comfortable, like, joining the military. Like, that's not something
mhm.
that I ever vision in my life. So how do I do that? It's just the same principle that got me here. It's the same principle. I'm gonna get there, but it's gonna grow me, because now I'm a leader.
Yeah.
So how do I show up? I mean, I'm gonna show up being a servant leader. I'm gonna
Mhm.
lead by example. I'm not gonna just say this and do this. No, what I'm saying is how I am gonna lead. So those are a few things that really hold me as core, and really ground me to help me with my principles.
Yeah, no, I love that. I think it's so important because you know what, when you are growing or wanting to grow, and I think everybody wants to grow. Sometimes people don't or get uncomfortable with change, and so it's easier to just stay, stuck or in the same situations. But if you press through a little bit further, there's always some level of success on the other side. Like there's lessons that you've learned, there's experiences that you've gained. Going to the military may not have been on your bucket list or your wish list of things to do, but I'm sure there's lots of things you even share in the book. Um, your stories from the military and how and that growth was something different, like that you wouldn't have been able to get any other way.
Correct. Hmm.
Yeah. Um, Maureen, I was thinking about too when you did your book launch and the guests that you had on there. Talk a little bit about having mentors and embracing others, to help facilitate your growth too.
Yeah, like I believe like this journey you can do it alone.
Mm-hmm.
So I have been fortunate to be a mentor and to have mentors because I believe like Maya Angelou says it really eloquently.
Mm-hmm.
When you get, you give. So I really believe in if I'm learning, let me empower others, because I mean we
Mm-hmm.
are growing as a village, or as a community. So when I get those mentors pour to me, I'm obligated to pour to others. So
Mm-hmm.
really, in my life, like in every season, I've gotten different mentor. When it comes to friendship, I've had people who mentor me as colleague, as friend. When it comes to navigating like healthcare, having
Mm-hmm.
those who've done it well before, going through their leadership, doing internship,
Mm-hmm.
having even a chance to really just break bread and talk and just pour into me, having different mentors like Dr. K is one, and he's really a busy man. So really just having that opportunity to just mentor me and I mean others, like
Mm-hmm.
it's just that opportunity. You can't take it for granted, and
Yeah.
you can't keep it to yourself. You gotta pour into others. So the same the, as I get, I give. And I
Yeah.
believe that really that's part of having mentors and really mentoring others.
Yeah, no, that's so good and so true. Like there's so much value that you gain from learning from other people's mistakes, being able to avoid pitfalls. Like somebody's already done it, before you, and being willing to be open and having those conversations and stuff. As a matter of fact, how would you tell someone to even engage mentors? Because sometimes people, like you mentioned, hey, I'm an introvert. So as an introvert, how did you pursue mentorship? What was that like?
I believe, and I was fortunate. I think my first mentor was my elder sister. She
Hmm.
really poured into me, and I realized, wow, like I have lots of areas to grow. So, and that's when I realized the importance of really having the mentorship. So, whenever so how somebody will ask, how do I know if I need mentor, or how do I find a good mentor? I would say just, I mean, as women, just follow your intuition.
Hmm.
It's not gonna lie to you. And I'll also being in the faith base, like I really believe in like the spirit will lead you as you align. I always I think there's a quote where whenever you are ready,
Hmm. The
opportunity
mentors
will
will show up.
will show up. So I
Yeah.
believe in every seasons of my life as I evolved, people that I never thought that would be part of my life, they
Hmm.
showed up. But we have to do the work. Like one of my coach, business coach says, like you gotta do the work.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a critical part of it. Like it's not going to get done if you're not doing it. I mean, you have to do the work. That's for sure. I love how you said that quote. It goes, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear, right? And
Yes.
so I think, and being a believer, which I love that we're like-minded and like in spirit that way. How do you personally discern sometimes when it's time to stretch versus when it's time to rest? Because sometimes, thinking about doing the work, it's like there's going to be something on the inside of you that's an indicator that it's time for you to move. Like it's going to be uncomfortable. How do you personally discern that for yourself?
One way I discern is like how is my spirit, when I mean that, like if it's in this season, how am I leading? Sometimes you can feel you're drained.
Hmm.
That tells you it's a time to rest.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you can feel like, hey, I am not being pushed. I'm very comfortable. That's when you're like, no, this is a time for me to elevate, to move to the next level. So really, I think the best gift we can give yourself is really knowing yourself. Because
Mm-hmm. You're
once you
self-aware.
really know yourself, you can know as you shift. And also really having people like in a circle or in a tribe, like who will tell you the truth,
Mm-hmm.
that also can help you know, like, this is my time to rest, or this is
Mm-hmm.
my time to elevate. Because sometimes you can have that, you need that mirror, somebody
Mm-hmm.
who sees you and tells you the truth, and you know it's coming from a place of love. Because every time somebody lives from a place of love, you
Mm-hmm.
take it, you take the either the positive or the negative criticism, like, hey, this is
Mm-hmm.
somebody who wants the best for me. And then just having that, whatever makes you calm down. Like, if it's for me, like, I like meditation. So those
Mm-hmm.
are the quiet moments, those whispers, like, you can ignore those. And but it has to come with growing and really knowing really yourself.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I love the fact that you've got daily and weekly, probably practice, right? That helps you stay alive. So I heard you say that you meditate and you've got a tribe of people. What would you tell people are like, hey, here are a few things that you should do that can be really beneficial in helping you as you start navigating, getting in alignment and becoming who it is that you've been designed to be.
So the first thing is, I would say, work on your mind.
Let's
That's
just
the
start.
first thing. Like, how you feeling? Do you feel groggy? Do you feel drained? And then for me, like, exercising, having those daily habits or rituals has
Mhm.
really helped me. Like meditation, like when I exercise, I feel like I can conquer the world. Like, it
Yeah.
gives you those endorphins
Yep.
that really helps me. And then also having people who are accountable for you, like the
Okay.
inner
Yeah.
circle, the inner tribe. they'll
Uh-huh.
they'll tell you, hey, you're slacking here. Okay, now you're doing too much, you need some rest. Because sometimes we don't see those blind spots, so
Mhm.
somebody having helping you with those blind spots. And especially, like, I remember when I had a goal, like, of losing certain weight, I would
Mhm.
like force myself. Like, some things I'll do, and I talk a little bit in my book,
Mhm.
is laying my gym clothes in the morning. So the first thing I'm getting out, that's what I'm seeing. So I don't have a choice. So
Yes.
I am getting that done. So you gotta have those rituals, and also reading books like Atomic Habit really
Mhm.
help me. 5 a.m. by Robin Sharma.
China. That's
Yes,
what
so
I'm on.
having,
5 a.m.
yeah,
club.
so I'm always Alana, and also just having those book, having a community that support you, because
Yeah.
I believe, like, I grew up in a community that has really support me, and
Mhm.
that's how, like, I really believe in the power of community.
Yeah. No, that's so good. That's so good, Marie. As a matter of fact, Marie, what made you write your book? Like Emerging as Your Best Self is, you guys, that is Maureen's book. Make sure you get it. And you can, and it's the title of the book and the website is the same. Emergingasyourbestself.com. Maureen, what made you write the book? Why did you feel like at this time you needed to do that?
Actually, I was not gonna write a book. I did not feel like I qualified. So a little back of my journey, like, I've always been faith based, but sometimes we can confuse being religious and having a relationship with God. I
Mhm.
didn't really have a relationship with God, but I felt like I was just doing the religious stuff. So
Mhm.
God, I feel like in the book of Samuel, he was talking to me, but I couldn't discern the voice of God. So having that relationship with God, he gave me that vision, and I said no, like, no, just, it could be my sister. She's the one who makes A's at school. Like, pick somebody else. Like, she's the introverts, like, why me? And then after I had grown my relationship with God, then He gave me the vision. This time I knew, hey, I knew how He speaks to me. So I was in tune, and I was like, I am gonna be obedient. I don't know how I'm gonna write this book. I don't know who's gonna publish it. And thank you so much for Papas and Publisher for really helping edit and refine and bringing this book to work. I'm really grateful. So I just started taking a pen and writing. Like in the middle of the night, I would get up and just write. Just whenever I'll have a notebook. Whenever thought comes, it's just. And then the good thing, it was very therapeutic. That's like one of
Really?
so, yeah, I was very surprised. So God, so He told me, like, you gotta be authentic. You gotta be. You don't have to have it all together. I'm gonna use you
Yeah.
and with your story to help somebody else. And really, it has been really an amazing journey, especially when I hear people like, wow, I've always wanted to write a book. I've always wanted to do this. I've always wanted to start a business. I've always wanted to write a cookbook. Like just being that beacon of hope.
Yeah.
Like if that girl from a small village in Kenya can do it, why me? Like I can do it.
Yeah.
So that's the background of the story, and here I am.
You know what? That's so good, though, Maureen, because most of the time, like all the people that we get to meet, like there's always something that surprises people about themselves when they write their books. There's always something that surprised. Was there any particular thing other than, hey, I wasn't gonna write a book, that wasn't even in my heart now, but was there anything else that like surprised you about yourself while you was writing?
I think the most thing is the art of writing.
Mhm.
I've
Yeah, I can
always,
do
yeah, I've always loved poetry.
it.
Introduced by, I really love the late Maya Angelou.
Mhm.
She,
Yes.
she really elevated me, like just reading her story,
Mhm.
and just didn't think that it was part of me, but really the art and the craft of writing, it's
Mhm.
something that it's really magical and very therapeutic,
Yeah.
that gets you out of your fear, and just seeing the process and the finished work, to me that was just amazing. And it still today this surprises me, like, hey.
Yes, Arthur is on your list of titles and things that you've done. It's an accomplishment. It's a huge recognition, because it's not easy, So to
It's
have,
not, it's not.
yeah, I love that. When you think about, like, I always think about women and kind of where they are. When you see women getting stuck in their emergence process, where is it? Where do you think that women get stuck sometimes?
I think it could be in different season. Let's say, looking at where are you, like, if it's a single mom, if it's somebody who's trying to relocate from one place to the other, really trying to. Sometimes I would say one thing is fear
Mhm.
of, like, how do I navigate that?
Yeah.
I would say that would be like number one thing that really holds it.
Mhm.
And then also self doubting yourself. Like,
Yeah.
who am I? Like, how
Mhm.
can I bring transformation? I think those are the things that can really hold us as
Mhm.
women, and
Yeah.
also as individuals.
Yeah. You know what I think, sometimes we're not compassionate enough with ourselves. We beat ourselves up and kind of tear ourselves down a little bit. And I think that's so important, because but for you, what do you feel like, or how do you feel like compassion plays in having sustainable growth? Like, you're not expected to be the same. You do evolve, and it's not that it has to be fast, because sometimes we think, hey, I should have been here by now. And it may not be like that for everybody. When you think about that, like what do you say in terms of compassion and how that, plays into, growth?
I think we gotta really love on ourselves. We gotta be our biggest cheerleaders. Because
Yeah.
sometimes, especially as women, we are really pouring, 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 pouring. So how about we start by pouring to ourselves and
Mm,
just being loving on ourselves, being kind to ourselves.
yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that. Maureen, what would you say is when you say about pouring out and loving, share with us a time when you had an opportunity to mentor somebody else or to pour back into, what was that like, and what was it like for you? And then maybe share what was it like for the mentee, the person on the other side.
Uh, I have had those opportunities, and the number one thing that really sticks to me
Mhm.
is people really there's the fear, like they want the mentor or they want somebody, but sometimes it's like first of all it's like, how do I approach them, how do I give them back to them? But once they see like, hey, like she really was authentic, she really took the time to talk to me, to help me navigate whatever situation or the challenge is, she really made me seen. Like people want to be seen, people want to be felt. Like I think that's what mostly sticks with me.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. Maureen, I swear it never ceases to amaze me that the time goes out so quickly when we're having great conversations. So before I let you out of here, I just want to stop and say, if you haven't gotten a copy of Maureen's book yet, it's called Emerging as Your Best Self. You can go to her website. The description and links are down in this episode. I want you to go and check it out so that you can see this young lady been in the military. She's in the healthcare profession. She is a mentor and mentee, so that what she's giving and what she's sharing and what she's gotten back. But I want you guys to get to know Maureen. Maureen, before I let you out of the studio today, I want you to tell us, what are the top 3 things that you would tell change makers?
Wow. The first thing that really comes to my mind is resilience. And when
Mhm.
people think resilience, sometimes it's just the quiet courage. It's just saying, hey, I'm gonna do this. I might do this when I'm scared, but I'll do it. I will
Mhm.
fight through it. I will accomplish it. So that would be the first thing I would say. That I would say. The next thing is, I would say, bet on yourself.
Yeah.
Don't wait for somebody to give you permission. Go out and really bet on yourself. Whatever journey, you
Mhm.
don't have to have it all together. You don't have people to help you. Just bet on yourself and do it. And the last thing I would say is the power of your voice. Your story, your voice matters. No matter where you whatever your culture, your nationality, your
Mhm.
power in your voice, in your story matters.
Oh, that's so good. So good. Maureen, thank you so much for reminding us that growth, it doesn't have to be loud, it doesn't have to be perfect. It can just be, and that becoming our best selves is not about striving, this conversation felt like an invitation to just breathe and kind of trust the process, right? Thank you for coming into the lab and sharing tonight. I so appreciate you.
Well, thank you so much for having me and just creating a space where my stories or stories like this can be shared. I truly, truly appreciate you and your team To everyone listening, keep imagining your story matters, your voice hold powers, and no matter where you are in the journey, keep betting on yourself. And check out my book, Imagine as Your Best Self, tapping on your full potential, available in Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and my website. And a special thank you for Purpose and Publishing for doing an amazing job.
Thank you, Maureen. Thank you so much. All right, family and friends, you heard it here first. Make sure that if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. You don't want to miss this. And every Friday, we come out with a new episode. And so I want you to tune in. So if you subscribe, you'll get the notification and and that'll be your reminder. If you enjoyed this episode, share it, give us a comment, let us know. If you got any questions for Maureen, make sure you go and hit her up on the website. Check out the book. It's available everywhere books are sold. Maureen, thank you so much for coming on the show. So appreciate you. Much love to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, y'all. We'll see y'all in the next episode. Bye for now.